I don't have a $12 piece of blue styrofoam to put on a $240,000 plus laser, so I improvised quickly. I got a piece of drywall. With a laser for a bridge, you need some sort of stability tool, because when the hoop is on here, and I don't have a bigger hoop, but if you got a little hoop on here, you've got to balance this from being a cavity. So imagine if you did have a big hoop. The problem with it is that you have the material sagging, and if you don't have these arms on here, then you're creating a problem for yourself, whereby, let's flip this over here. Okay, what I also didn't do is I didn't go take a box knife and trim this out and cut this out so it can go over the regular embroidery arms, but the deal is it would have to go somewhere in like this. And what I'll try and do is I'll either provide a link or I'll cut it out and I'll put it in here where they're doing this with a piece of blue styrofoam. So now the principle is that the bridge laser, this is the hood and the laser would be above here. It's going to come across, and this is the cutting field. So the cutting field is going to come here, stop, etch, come here, stop, etch. Now, do you see something that's an issue? Do you understand that on a bridge laser, the middle is where the needle is? But on the embossing machine, on the laser machine, we're always working off of the center. So we're using the middle of the hoop with our system, and all bridge lasers, you have to offset stuff. So you have to be very strategic in thinking where you're going to lay something in the embroidery file, and many times you have to go through a crazy hooping process in order to get it to the position. It's been done, it works, it's not like the end of the world, but it's challenging. But you're generally working with, you're never working with the center of the hoop, the design. You're always working with the 2/3 on one end, because you can't get the laser to go where the needle is. It just can't fit inside there. So you see what I mean? When I would frame this out, I can never use this area, but on our laser, you can use the center area, but on a bridge laser, you've always got to skew it over, or you've got to put the design in upside down and do the whole thing upside down. So it's just one layer of complexity you don't need. So I'll leave this here as an example. You would have to basically mark your styrofoam. You gotta use the right marker, because if you use the wrong marker, it eats the styrofoam, right? So you can etch on it and make a little line, but you gotta make sure that it sets back in the same way every time. And what they don't show is they don't show the setup and the time involved, and they don't show a garment. I mean, anybody can take a scarf. I feel like I'm going like this to the camera. So you can take a scarf or a flat object and a sample and lay it down. I mean, everybody can do that. That's why when you go to the show, we actually take bags that we got. Can you shoot up there how many bags we still have in stock right up there? You see that? So come back down here. So there's thousands of bags in there, and what we always do is before we go to the show, we applique a patch on it, and we take that to the show. It's away from the embroidery machine, it's traveled, it's moved, and we instantly register it on the laser and then make the sample for you and do the cutout live. So you do etching and applique, reverse applique at the show on the bag, and there's thousands of bags that we bought, like, I don't know, that at one point it was like a half a container's worth, and proof positive that you can take it and not have to be registered to it later on. They don't get that. Now, so the hood would come along here and stop at each head, but I don't have any embroidery happening. I've got etching happening, killing my embroidery business, which to me is insanity. That was one of the reasons we had to change that concept with the NGL. So imagine, I'm just going to leave this hoop here as the demo to demonstrate where this area is, right? But how on earth are you going to, what am I going to do with the shirt here? So how on earth are you going to take this shirt and register this so that, like, there's nothing indicating whether you're square or not. There's no methodology. I mean, they're laying out the stuff in advance and then crossing their fingers to be able to do this here. The second thing is, how would you deal with this part on the collar? How would you deal with the inside? So there is no method, because you can be off, a half inch either way, and you screw the whole thing up. Now take the sleeve And what are you going to do? Like, where are you going to put that? That's not flat. I mean, I took the garment, I hit that dead square and level according to the hem or the seam or whatever, and I nailed it like that. And I was like seconds, boom, boom, boom. So when I quote $600 to $1,000 an hour, that's not like a dream. That's a reality of what we're doing with the laser. And that's why people in a couple hours pay what the whole laser costs in a month when they put it on a finance plan. That's why it's affordable. That's why a small business with, a lady in Hawaii with one Melco can outperform a guy with 16 or 60 heads practically sometimes, because she does what the other guy can't do. So I'm not knocking that you have a lot of heads. I'm just saying that it's a game changer. You buy this machine tomorrow, the best one, it's still stitching. Okay, the screen is nicer, the features are nicer, the icons are nicer, it's quieter. It's more plastic than ever. You know that the old machines were more metal and more robust. But it's embroidery. I'm sorry, but that's like industrial age technology, and this laser takes it out of that. So now, forget this. This is relatively simple, although impossible to do on the bridge laser in these locations in that amount of time. But what about this? Like, honestly, how are you going to deal with this on a bridge laser? So I want to get this zipper part here, right? So let's fold it here. No bridge laser, no independent scanning laser that competes with us has the technology that thinks about like the unevenness. What I did was I just folded this underneath here, okay? And how are you going to line that up? It's risky. So you're going to, you're going to etch a line on here, or you're going to go to Home Hardware and buy a drywall laser alignment tool and mount it to your wall or something. Like, still, you're not going to have this relationship because you're going to cover your little pattern underneath, so you're screwed, really is what it comes down to. How are you going to align it like right on the seam so they're all consistent? You're going to risk, 50 grand or 2,500 or whatever dollars worth of product because you may not align it. The customer will spot that in a dime. So what if I want to do the sleeve and I want to get it right here? So now I got to figure out how to put it here, and what happens is your thing comes along, one little mistake and you've got that hitting, because you've got I just took one of our pre-assembly things without the brushes. You always have the brushes on all the lasers because you want to prevent the hands from going through in production. You want to make it difficult. That's the OSHA thing. So you do this, you just touch it, you're messed up. Now, you notice that this is an XL. This isn't even double XL or triple XL. It's just XL, my size. And I've already encroached on the other two heads. So I hope you're getting the picture and the understanding that what we do on the NGL laser is absolutely, unequivocally impossible to do on the bridge laser. That's many, many times more expensive, that's more complicated, and has more setup time. I can always edit these videos, and I leave my flubs in. I don't get it done professionally, although we're getting better at it because we're buying a better camera and better microphone and better tripod. But really, it is what it is. I'm showing you the reality of it so you get the connection that it does literally what the bridge laser can't do in a fraction of the price. I mean, you didn't know you needed an iPad and an iPhone, did you? And as an embroiderer, you didn't know you needed this laser, but it's here to stay, and the longer you wait, the more complex it's going to get to be, competitive in what's going on out there. And with the smaller laser that's out there now that makes it even more accessible, it's disruptive. It's just the same way that kind of, I don't want to say it, in a negative way, but the relevancy of Microsoft from desktop computing is changed. They reached their peak probably, and you can't recover when the world's gone to this cloud-based, tablet-based thing. And Google's like the big player and changed the game and wiped out the yellow pages, but what's after Google? What happens if the next thing that we think of is different than search? So big players get knocked out of the game if they don't make a change, and without having a laser, you're allowing your competitors to basically take away market share. The decoration drives the sales of the garments, and the decoration today is almost everything synthetic. It's actually less harmful to the environment when you have synthetic because you don't use all the chemical stabilizers, cleaners and bleachers and tints and use nearly the same water to produce synthetics as you do to produce cotton. And once you start wearing it, it's more comfortable. So that's the reality of it. I hope this was informative. You're always free to challenge me on the things I say, because I'll just give you 5 clients who are doing exactly what I say to back it up. I don't want to invent anything, and that's the difference. So, I don't like competing with clients who are giving away a free bridge laser for 6 months, because it's not reality. You're going to have to pay that bill at some point. So get what you need, don't get more. You get what you pay for. The thing's built here, the jobs stay here. I'm proud that we give the best warranty in the industry, and the people, we don't have a call center with 6 techs running around the country. It doesn't exist for us. If you have an issue, more than 95% of the time it's your fault, and 5% of the time you can solve it yourself with a phone call. And the person that answers your phone call is a guy who built the damn thing. So he knows what he's talking about. Or it's a person that went on the road and that helped you get going. That's why we spend 2 days with you and we don't give you an option on it. It's a little bit like that Seinfeld episode. There's no soup for you if you don't do it the way the soup kitchen guy wanted it, and there's no laser for you, because I got to get you to monetize it to be productive and to be profitable within 2 days when we're leaving. You've got to that's why there's such a heavy emphasis on the marketing side of the business, because it changes the game. You've got to stop being a firefighter and being reactive and give your clients tools that they don't have access to otherwise, and be in the minority percent that has the majority of the profit, instead of, I don't want to say it the wrong way, if you go to a show and it's embroidery and screen printing and DTG, it's all been done. It's old. It's difficult to do that stuff when everybody else can do it. And that's why this is different. You got a nice little window of 5 years before you're going to be forced to do it. So be ahead of the game before it's like that everywhere. So anyways, thanks for your time. I hope this was interesting. Send me your emails with your comments or your rebuttals or your questions. I love it because it keeps me excited about what I do, and I can back up what I say. So have a great day, guys.